Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 22nd October 2024. So let's get started with our discussion, and there are very important articles which are new I think for you, and we are going to see those articles which are very much relevant from our examination point of view. Okay, see this first article guys. So title says India-China reach deal on easing LAC tensions. So what is this article is talking about? Line of actual control. What is happening at this line of actual control? So what is happening? So China occupied many of our Indian territories, and China intruded into our Indian territories, and most of our areas like Demchok and Dipsang Plains and patrolling point 15, they were still under control of China. So these are like areas which were under control of India, but now they are under control of China. And from 2020 onwards, we are going for many rounds of talks, but till now there is no resolution. But recently we joined different summits. So tell me the summits which China and India both participated. BRICS, like Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and now and any other summits where India and China both join? Okay, UNSC. Next, BRICS. Okay. Okay, finally, on the sidelines of these kind of meetings that we had recently, the BRICS summit. So finally, India and China, they are going to come up with an agreement soon. And in this agreement, we are going to have control on our areas. We are going to ease our tensions across this LAC. So now if you see the context of this article, it says that India and China, they have reached an agreement to ease tensions at line of actual control, resolving military standoff issues, including patrolling arrangements. Okay. So here we have LAC, line of actual control. Right, so what happened in this 2020 was, so Chinese army, that is PLA army, crossed this line and they occupied some of our Indian territories. So in that we have PP15 also, that is patrolling point 15. So you have to know about what is this patrolling point. So patrolling point are nothing but if you are having the boundary, there will be some controls across this boundary where Indians will be staying there, Indian army people will be staying there, and they will be controlling this entire region. So one such a point is patrolling point 15, which is very essential for India. So it had been occupied by China. Okay, so now we are going to talk about resolution between India and China regarding this LAC region. And here we have LOC. What is this LOC? Line of control. It is between India and Pakistan. So what are the things that you have to focus is the boundary lines. So what are the boundary lines between India and Pakistan, India and Afghanistan, India and China, India and Sri Lanka. So you have to know all these lines between India and its boundary or neighboring countries, because there is a high chance of getting question regarding that as well. Okay, now let us see the key points regarding this article, what it is saying that. So whenever we are going to have this kind of agreement which is resolving the issues between India and China, so we can understand that yes, we are having a successful diplomacy. Okay, so we are going to have a successful talks between India and China. So recently our Prime Minister also said that, so if you are having disputes between two countries, warfare it is not a solution. We cannot go for a war. Rather than we can use this diplomacy. So we can say the success of our Prime Minister words. Like, without war between India and China, so we are going to resolve this issue through successful diplomacy. So if that statement is given in news, then you can give this article as an example that yes, with successful diplomacy, so we resolve this issue between India and China. Okay, next one here is, yes, once this agreement come into picture, then we will go back to 2020 status quo. That means before 2020, before China occupied this area under LAC, so earlier, before this 2020 scenario, so which areas are under control of India, they will be coming back to the control of India, and areas under control of China will be going back to this China control. So we are going to restore stability and normalcy at this LAC region. So whenever we are having this normalcy or status quo, it is very important for maintaining of regional peace and as well as security. And next we can say, so why we are coming up with agreement? So because of the success of BRICS summit. So the timing of announcement and this summit which reflects the strategic diplomatic planning, and even we can understand that in this meeting we had high level discussions, and finally we are going to have the success. At least in this summit, at least we don't know like whether other countries which are part of this summit are getting benefit or not, but we are getting benefit of this BRICS summit. And you have to see even the member states of BRICS. How many member countries are there in BRICS as of now? 10 member countries. So which is a recently added country under this BRICS? Which is a recently added country, guys? So earlier we have B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, and S for South Africa. Apart from this, 5 countries added. Tell me. So ninth country is Iran. I want 10th country. Egypt, Ethiopia. Uh, mm, 10th country. 10th country. Not Australia. Very recent country. Okay. So after this class, see the members of this BRICS I said, and you have to see that. So you can get question regarding even which of the following are the members of BRICS, and you have to see even the years when and in which year which country added as a member of this BRICS. On this also UPSC can frame a question. And you have to see like what is the significance of this patrolling agreements or arrangements. So actually these patrolling points are very important. So if you are losing our control on these patrolling points, then what happened? We don't have proper surveillance and maintenance of the security and peace at our border. So because of this, whenever we are having control on these patrolling points, yes, we can go for proper securing of our border management. And next one here is even we have to focus on our buffer zones. So what are these buffer zones? Any idea regarding these buffer zones? Why we will be maintaining buffer zones? Even this concept of buffer zone you might be studied in your environment as well. What is this buffer zone? What are these eco-sensitive areas? Uh, so tell me why we have to maintain these buffer zones, especially from international relations point of view. For example, this is India's border. So out of this, we will consider this as China, right? So at these areas, we have to maintain a buffer zone so that there should be no escalation anywhere. Okay? So we have to focus on even maintaining of buffer zones in the future so that we will be not having this kind of conflicts again in the future. Okay, we have to focus on that as well. Maintaining of areas where we will be not having any control here. Like till here we will be having China control, till here we have India control, and middle we will be leaving that place as buffer area. Okay, so there if we are maintaining the proper buffer area, then there will be maintenance of peace in that area. Okay, we will be not fighting. For example, if we say that this is our area and we will be reaching this here means, so there will be, if we are not maintaining any buffer area, what happened? There will be increasing of conflicts. So to maintain that peace and stability, we have to obviously maintain this buffer area, buffer zone. In national parks and biosphere also, we will be maintaining on especially high protected area, and after that we will be having buffer area and we will be having normal area, right? So in the same way, in this international relations also, especially any country which is sharing boundary with different countries, they have to maintain buffer areas with this enemy countries. Okay, see this article. Title says laws for minority institutions do not breach secularism. So what are the keywords here? Secularism. What is the secularism? Secularism meaning? Huh? What is the Indian point of view secularism? All regions are equal, right? We are not dividing entirely state from religion. So entirely state is separated from religion in which kind of country? Like either it may be in the France or in US, entirely church is separated from religion. Oh, sorry, state is separated from this religion. But here in India, so we gave equal importance to all religions. All religions are equal. Okay, so how we are maintaining the secularism in our country? Hmm? Giving opportunity to. Okay, we are treating all religions equal. Okay, how? Okay, so can you tell me any constitutional provisions which says about secularism in India? Hmm? Okay, so who are these minority people? Only Christians? Christians, Muslims, Buddhists. Who are majority people in India? Okay, Hindus. So what are these laws for minority institutions? So can you tell me examples of minority institutions in India? Minority institutions. Huh? Work boards, I'm talking about institutions, education related things of minority people. Yes, madrasas for Muslims. Next, is there anything like madrasas for other religions in India? Huh? Basadis are temples for Jains. They are not institutions, education institutions especially. Okay, so in our constitution, are there any provisions for protection of minority rights? Can you tell me? Article 21 is right to life and personal liberty. So how we can ensure minority rights here? Explain on this. What is Article 30? Article 30, 30. Article 32 is writs. 30. No idea. Article 29. Pritam. Educational, education cultural rights. Okay. So under that, can we provide laws for these minority institutions? Preserving of culture is a fundamental right or not? Yes. Okay. So this article is talking about secularism, first important thing. And next it is talking about minority institutions. So these two topics that you will be reading from your GS paper 2 under polity. So what are the dimensions you have to see? So you have to see what is the concept of this secularism, and next you have to see what are the constitutional provisions in our Indian constitution talks about the secularism in India, and you have to see some examples, and from minority institutions you have to see fundamental rights, especially article 20 and article 30 of Indian constitution, which comes under part 3, and you have to see some examples of this minority institutions. For example, if you take madrasas here, what are the challenges faced by these madrasas? So tell me what are the problems you are faced by madrasas. Then if you know the challenges or problems, then you'll understand what this article is talking about. So tell me what are the problems of these madrasas, especially in UP? No proper funds. Who will give these funds? Government. Okay. So all the regions are equal, right, in India according to secularism. But government is providing these funds for this madrasas is violating that secularism or not? Are you getting my question? Only Muslim students will study in that madrasas. Huh? So even there is allegation that these madrasas are also taking admissions of other religions that we discussed in our, I think 15 to 20 days ago, when we discussed about this madrasas related to one editorial. So the problem here was there is no proper funding, and even they will be teaching only Quran, and they will not. They will be also including other religions peoples under this madrasas. It is also one problem that is happening now. Okay, now tell me, government funding of this madrasas is right or wrong? Mm. 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 So tell me everyone, are you ready for today's debate? Inclusive growth? Yes? After ethics class. After ethics class. Ethics. Afternoon class. What happened? Manoj prepared for yesterday only. Okay. Come on, tell me. Okay. So context says Supreme Court of India upheld that laws regulating minor institutions do not inherently breach secularism. So actually there are some laws which are regulating minority institutions in India. So especially whenever you are having laws which are regulating this minority education institutions, it is violating majority institutions. That means we are not giving proper value to secularism. So minority educations are regulated by laws, but not majority institutions. So because of this, it is breaching secularism. So this is the case which had been filed in Supreme Court. But Supreme Court gave the judgment that yes, these laws which are regulating these minority institutions, they are not inherently breaching secularism. So this is the thing which mainly said by Chief Justice of India, and we are going to see why he said. So you know about this madrasas. So madrasas are the institutions where they give education to only Islam or Muslim students. So which is the act? The act here is UP Board of Madrasa Education Act of 2004. So this act was challenged for violating secular principles, and also it is aiming to enhance educational quality for students in madrasas. So actually the problem in this madrasas was they will be not having proper education. They will be teaching only Quran. So if they are teaching only Quran, will they get all the educational skills that they require to lead their life? No. So because of this, UP government came up with this act, that is UP Board of Madras Education Act of 2004, which want to increase the quality of education in this madrasas. And now court said that minority institutions are not restricted to religious instructions only. So even they are having the Article 30, which allows the minorities even to manage their education institutions. Okay, so because of this, yes, what are the acts came up by the government which is not violating the secularism. So this is the thing which mainly said. So if you see the concept of secularism and regulation, Supreme Court claimed that regulating these institutions that not inherently violate the secularism, but we are promoting educational standards without infringing on religious freedoms. So even though when we are coming up with any laws which we are focusing on regulating in education itself, that we are not infringing any religious freedom there. So because of this, yes, these acts are correct, which they are focusing on education itself. And court also said that, yes, we need regulatory oversights and we have to focus on the rights of these minority institutions. That indicates that we are understanding the secularism in the context of educational policies only. So we are not at all going and causing any harm to their religious freedom. Only we are focusing on educational policies in this minority institutions. So if you're not having that kind of laws, then can we ensure proper right to education for these people? No, right? So because of this, yes, it is right. So whenever you're coming up with any acts regarding this minority educations or education institutions also, it is according to the constitution. We are not at all depriving secularism. And these laws which are focusing on improving of quality of education in this madrasas. Okay. And next one here is we want to impart the life skills and knowledge which is required for the students. And next one here is, yes, Article 30 talks about minority education institutions. And here, this article is not only saying that we have to impart religious education, we have to even impart the life skills. So if these institutions are not focusing on imparting of life skill, yes, government can come up with the acts so that we can improve the education skills of the people. So this is the idea which is given by the court now. Have you understood? Okay, that is the thing. And see this article, how beautiful our Prime Minister is. Sorry, not Home Minister. Okay, Home Minister. So, what is that cap? What is the symbol? What is that symbol? Symbol. Police? So, even whenever you are seeing these images, you have to see the meaning of that. So, what is that logo there? So, everything. Uh, uh, Police Day. Okay. Okay. So, see the title, guys. Drones, misuse of AI among security challenges ahead. So what is this article is talking about? Misuse of AI and drones. So from which subject point of view we will be dealing with this? Science and technology. So what are the dimensions you have to see? What is drone? Other name of drone? Oh, unmanned aerial vehicles. Okay, so why we are using these drones? Why? Why we need to use these drones now? Okay, where we can't go, we can use drones. So can you tell me the classification of drones? Only three types? Only four types? So classification will be done based on what? Based on size. Okay, how many types of drones are there based on size? Not four. Science and technology, you have to revise, guys. Small, very small, uh, medium, big, very large. We have five types of classification of drones. So in which area, which kind of drones will be used? Tell me now. What are the applications of very small drones? Uh, okay, tell me at least applications of drones. Defense, health, traffic management, forensic investigations, photography. Next. Photography comes under marriage. Next. Agriculture. Next. Seawater. Forest management. Next. Okay. Medicines, delivery services. Next. Okay, so what is the harm of drones? Why are Home Minister saying that drones is one of the security challenge now? Why? Why drones are security challenge? Tell me. Okay, terrorists also using drones. Okay. So what is hacking? How we can use? How we can hack by using these drones? Yeah, tell me. Come on, you can do it. Why these drones is security challenge? Why drones are a security challenge? Okay, misuse of AI, I will be accepting. Yes, it is a security challenge. But why these drones? Uh, guys, uh, okay, let it be. Say, our Union Home Ministry is saying that yes, there is increasing of internal security challenges in India. So why? Because more than 216 police personnel they had died in past 1 year. So here, why these police people are dying? Okay, Naxalism. Okay, next. Terrorism. Next. Other reasons apart from these two. Huh? What? Naxalism, Maoism, same. Apart from this, based on the ideology. But Naxalism, we are calling it in India because it started in Naxalbari region of West Bengal. The same ideology, but it started in that place in India, so we are calling it as Naxalism. Next, stress. How the stress will cause internal security concern? It is your personal problem, right? Tell me. Come on, guys. Yeah, you want to enter into this service. You have to know what are the challenges faced by these people, no? You forgot question. So what are the reasons for increasing of police personal death in India? More dowries. Okay, so here our Union Home Minister said that drones, narcotics, and the misuse of artificial intelligence, they are leading to the increasing of unrest in society and as well as communal tensions, and because of cyber crimes, because of terrorism. Okay, so all these are the problems that we are facing in our society. So because of this, there is increasing of deaths of police persons. So the important reason why these challenges which are faced by these police persons is because of increasing of internal security challenges. So after this class, try to find out internal security challenges in India. Okay, so you will be studying this internal security in your GS paper 3, right? So there you will be studying about just what are the internal security challenges in our India and what are the causes and what will be the impact to control that, which kind of mechanism we are having in our country. That's it, that you will be reading in your internal security. Yeah, that's it. Only you have to see the challenges that we are having, like Maoism or Naxalism in India. And next one is you have to see terrorism in India. And you will be seeing like cyber issues in India and insurgency in India and illegal migrants in India. So, and how they are causing problems to our country. And you will be saying like what are the organizations, like we have armed police services, and next one is we have central CAPF or CRPF, and the types of them and which group is dealing with which kind of problem in our country. That is your internal security. That's it, not more than this. So your classes will be done within 15 hours, I think so. Just internal security. There will be only 5 to 6 problems and causes and mandate. That's it. Huh? Mm. Okay. So here this article is saying that police are sacrificing their life because of this security challenges. So there are loss of in 1 year. In 1 year, 216 police personals they lost their life in maintaining internal security. So what we need if we want to save this people's life, how can we save this life? So what are the steps to be taken? Like we can focus on better support system for these people, like better intelligence we need to focus on, better protection systems like bulletproof jackets like that. And this one is we need to have even resources for this front line workers. So whenever we are providing support system, intelligence and the infrastructure, etc., yes, we can save this life of these people. And next, this article is saying that there is increasing of misuse of AI. So because of misuse of AI, how it is causing social unrest. Can you give me some examples, guys? Misuse of AI, how? Huh? Yeah, deep fakes, morphing of photos, videos. We don't know exactly that person is given that statement or not because of this AI. So it is very much similar as original copy. So because of this, what happened? There is increasing of social unrest in the society. And this one is even there are some threats because of this drones. So recently we discussed one article that the purchasing of drones is also happening in Manipur. So what is happening in Manipur? Communal violence. So the groups, they are purchasing these drones from other countries. Why? They want to attack the other communal group or other elements there. So here, yes, we have to take proper steps against the misuse of drones in India. And next one is, even there are issues with narcotics. So what happens with this narcotics? Narcotics means drugs. Examples of drugs: heroin, cocaine, ganja, charas. Next. Examples, guys. Uh, I'm not student. I came out of that stage. Okay. So what happens because of this narcotics? What will be the issue in the society? What happens if you have addicted to the drugs? Uh, Hallucinations. Okay. From society point of view. Yes, increasing of crimes. Next. Huh? So here narcotism is also one of the important cause of internal security challenge also. Because of the people who are habituated to this kind of drugs, there is increased tendency of doing crimes in the society. And again, it will be like a security challenge for our government of India. So again, we have to focus on better law enforcement and better community awareness programs to combat addiction and as well as trafficking of drugs. So why trafficking of drugs is happening in India? Why? Why trafficking is happening in India? Hmm? So here we have, what is this? Uh, Golden triangle and golden crescent. Those are the areas which are producing this narcotics or drugs. India is sandwiched between these two areas. So obviously there will be the trafficking of this drugs will happen through India. So because of this, if you take the data of Punjab and Haryana, so mostly more than 75% of population of Haryana and Punjab, they had been addicted to the drugs. And the important problem which is faced by that state government is to make them de-addicted. So you can take the reports of Punjab and Haryana. So how government is focusing on like to de-addict the people who had been addicted to these drugs. Because you may also get a case study because you are writing UPSC, which is central government exam. You are not writing a state government exam. So this is the one of the internal security challenge of our country. So they may ask you a question like, if you are a IPS officer and you are appointed in this area where there is high amounts of drug addiction was there, and because of that it is causing social unrest in that region, how we are going to address this kind of issue? The root cause here is drugs. So what are the measures you are taking? In long term measures, you have to write about how you are going to control these drugs in that area. So to write the practical measures, you have to see how this government of Haryana and Punjab are taking steps to control drugs and how they are making people to come out of this addiction. So how we can make the people to come out of addiction? Uh, okay, rehabilitation how? Drug de-addiction centers. Again, government need to go for setting up of this drug de-addiction centers. Again, it will be financial burden on government, but even though it has to do that. So NGOs, what they'll do? Okay, that will be only in dreams. So even there is one more problem: arms smuggling. So as I said in one of our class that this northeastern people, in that northeastern states, insurgency is one of the problem, and actually China wants to occupy entire our Arunachal Pradesh. China is claiming that entire Arunachal Pradesh is part of it. So what happened here is China is also infusing arms into this northeastern states people, and they are encouraging our Indian citizens to fight against government of India. So this is the one important problem that we are facing in northeast. So this is also one important challenge that you will be studying in your internal security. And even terrorism is also one problem. Okay, do you know about that? And see this article: Pradhan visits Singapore to deepen ties in education. So what is this article talking about? Pradhan is not our Prime Minister. Okay. He is Education Minister, Union Education Minister. So from which subject point of view you will be reading this? Okay, only international relations? Society, okay, next. In governance, we have education topic. So from these three subjects, you will be reading this topic. Okay, so now our Union Education Minister, he is going to visit Singapore. And this article is saying that we are going to have advancements in education. So what kind of help that we can get from Singapore? Yeah, technology. Next. Come on, guess. You can do it. What kind of help we can get from Singapore? So Singapore is a developed or developing or less developed country. Which country? Developed. Okay. So if you're having good relations with that kind of developed countries, what advantages we will be getting for India? Huh? Huh? Okay. Okay, we'll get funds, investments. Okay, next. Yes, research and development. Next. Come on. Huh? Advancement in education, how? Okay, next. Come on, come on. If you think, then only you'll be getting ideas, or else you won't. Next. So first of all, you have to know about education in Singapore. Okay. So after this class, try to know about how education in Singapore. What is the literacy rate in Singapore? So what are the advanced technologies they are using in Singapore? So if you see education system in India and China, if you compare that, there is a far difference. And even if you compare India and Japan, furthermore difference will be having, right? So in that same way, how education in India is different from Singapore. So if you know that, then only you can appreciate this article. Like what are the technologies we are going to get from Singapore? Yes or no? So after this class, do that work and try to search about Singapore and how they are advanced in education compared to that of India, and which kind of laws they are having. So what is mandatory in their schools, in their colleges, etc. So see that, so that you can understand exactly what help we are going to get from that country. Okay, so this article is saying that Union Education Minister visited Singapore to strengthen educational ties, and now we are going to get help in regarding school education, in vocational training, and even research collaboration. So in these three areas, we are going to get help. So if we are having a collaboration or agreement with Singapore, so how it going to help our school education exactly? So that is the thing that you have to focus. Okay. And this article is saying clearly that yes, we are going to have this strategic educational partnership. So because of this, we can enhance educational standards through international collaboration. Particularly, we can get technology advanced partner like Singapore. So that will lead to increasing of educational frameworks in India. So what is the current educational framework that we are following in India? National Education Policy 2020. So did it implemented across all the states? No. So whether when we are coming up with this kind of new frameworks from other countries, what will be the efficiency? Will we able to implement that throughout our country or not? Again, one more question. So what is your opinion? Yes or no? If yes, how? If no, why? Try to get your own perspectives, guys. Don't depend on my perspective, okay? So you should be a very rational and you should be objective. Okay, next one is focus on vocational training. So we are also giving priority to this vocational training. So what happens in this vocational training? We are imparting skills. Whether the skills are important or not in our present education system? Yes, why? Come on, why? Why skills are important for the students? Yes, already the unemployment rate is how much? 9.2% in India. So to come out of this problem, we have to impart the skills. And if you are getting this skills from these countries, what will be the advantage? So even our government is also focusing on providing vocational training. How this vocational training of India will be different from Singapore? Come on, are you getting my question, guys? I'm asking any irrelevant? No, right? Now tell me. So how this vocational training of Singapore will be helpful? So actually it is a developed countries, right? So because of this, the training they gave, they are technologically much more advanced. So technologically advancement is very important for development of any country. And if we want to achieve this goal of Viksit Bharat 2047, yes, we need to have advanced technologies which are following in other developed countries. So in this way, it will be very helpful. And even we are focusing on research and development as well. Especially we are focusing on innovation education so that we can have good educational methodologies and as well as technologies impartment from at a very earlier childhood. And next one here is India is also showing a lot of deep interest in technology, and we are focusing on especially getting of global technology landscape in India so that we can be able to compare with or competitive with other developed countries in the world. And next one is even we are focusing on startups also. So in this startups, especially we are focusing on entrepreneurship, education, innovation among the students itself. So whenever we are creating entrepreneurship or entrepreneur ideas, will it be useful for India or not? So how entrepreneurship skills will be useful? So we will be not focusing on government jobs or private jobs. We will be starting one company so that you will be creating employment. So because of this, what happened? Obviously, we can decrease employment opportunities and we can decrease physical deficit on the government. Yes or no? Obviously, whenever physical deficit is decreasing, India's status will be increasing or not. So India's goal of achieving this developed country status can be achieved soon if we are imparting this entrepreneurship skills in the students at a very young age. And next, if you are improving our ties with Singapore, so it will be also helpful for geopolitical interest as well. And even India's presence in the Southeast Asia will be increased. And Singapore is sharing boundary with Indo-Pacific region or not? Yes. And even India can increase its more leverage in this Indo-Pacific region as well. Okay, that is the thing. And say this article, very important. So see the title, guys. The case of a nature restoration law in India. So why we need to focus on nature restoration? What is meaning of restoration? Restore. Uh, Restore is nothing but meaning of restore. Yes, getting back. Okay, why we have to go for getting back into nature? Nature restoration. Why? Because of greed of humans, we are going for exploiting of common community resource called as natural resources. Yes or no? So what happens when we are going for exploitation of natural resources? Hmm? Okay, future generation is getting affected. There is no sustainable development, sustainable future. Okay. So why we need to talk about this nature restoration law? Because recently European Union came up with this law called as nature restoration. In the same way, India needs to come up with this law. Because of this is the news. Okay. So let us see here. India faces significant ecological degradation. Will you accept it or not? Okay, so can you give me some events which shows that there is degradation which is happening in India? Landslides in Wayanad, next cloudburst, forest fires, next glacial lake outburst flood. Okay, so there are many evidences which are saying that there is degradation of our ecology. So this article is saying that nearly 30% of land of India had been affected. So because of this, we have to get inspired from this nature restoration law so that we can address the challenges by binding targets for ecological restoration or ecosystem restoration by 2030 and 2050. So if you are making this binding in India, we can go back to the nature at least by 2050. So this is the thing which mainly said. So now let me show you about what is this law of European Union, and we will be going back to India, like in which areas India can focus. Okay. So here what are the key provisions of this law is, so law said that European Union need to restore at least 20% of its land and sea areas by 2030. Okay, and they have to go for restoration of all ecosystems by 2050. So 20% of land and sea by 2030 and all ecosystems by 2050. So this is the first important target. And next one here is European Union members are required to restore specific percentage of peatland. So here target is 30% they have to restore by 2030, 40% by 2050 and 50% by 2050. Okay, 2040, 2050. And they're also focusing on improving of biodiversity even in agriculture ecosystems as well. Like they are going to come with grassland butterfly index. So they will be saying the share of agriculture land with high diversity landscape features as well. And they're also focusing on forest ecosystems. They have to improve the forest as well. And they're focusing on river restoration, and they're focusing on urban green space as well, and they're focusing on adoption process. So in this adoption process, they are focusing on especially European Council need to adopt this this law. Okay, that is the thing which mainly said, and they have to publish this law in even official journals, and so that they will be getting community awareness. So they are focusing on green urban space, river restoration, forest ecosystem, and they are focusing on agriculture ecosystems as well, and they are focusing on peatlands, and they are focusing on restoring of all ecosystems. So these are the 5 to 6 points they are focusing. So now tell me where India can focus exactly. So here in this paragraph they said what a law in India could look like. So first one is we can focus on restoration targets. So in this restoration targets, we have to keep a target that India should aim to restore 20% of its degraded land by 2030, and we have to restore all ecosystems by 2050. So what are all ecosystems here? Like they include forests, they include wetlands, they include rivers, they include agricultural lands, and they include urban spaces. So first, second one here is we have to focus on wetland restoration. Wetlands are nothing but peatlands. So we have to focus on the critical wetlands like Sundarbans and Chilika Lake. Okay, so we have to focus on restoration of Sundarbans and Chilika Lake. So this is second point. And third point is they are focusing on biodiversity in agriculture. So actually agriculture is one of the dominating economic activity in our country. So we have to promote agroforestry and as well as sustainable practices in agriculture. So this is the third important point. And fourth one here is river restoration. As you all know that most of the rivers in our India are polluted only. There is no fresh river in India. So if you see BOD, COD, etc., those components says that there is increasing of pollution in our Indian rivers. So can you tell me the most polluted rivers in India? Ganga and Yamuna. So we have to focus on especially Ganga and Yamuna, and we have to focus on the polluting agents and how we have to make it clean. And the fifth one is we have to increase urban green spaces. So what are these urban green spaces? Parks, especially afforestation across the roads. Ashokudu road side, rendu side lo emantaru chetlu natanu. So like that we have to go for urban spaces, and we have to go for promoting of urban forest. Like we can use this Miyawaki method. Okay, so that can be used in this Bangalore, Delhi, etc. And these are the 5 important points that you have to focus. So there is a high chance of getting question regarding nature restoration law in India. And you have to focus on these 5 points, and today I will be giving you your mains question on this nature restoration in India. Okay, clear? Yes or no? No doubts? Okay, so these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindi newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you really like this class, please hit the like button, and please do share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Thank you so much, guys.